Word stress. Units of spoken English, such as words, phrases, and sentences, have some syllables or words stressed. Stress means relative emphasis on some sounds. In English, emphasis is made through the variations in volume, loudness, pitch, highness, tempo, duration, and articulation, clarity and pronunciation. So, stressed sounds are louder, higher, longer, and clearer than unstressed sounds. All multisyllabic English words must have stress on some syllable. The stress given to a syllable in a word is called the word stress or lexical stress. Word stress is the foundation for all other types of stress, since without this knowledge, we cannot stress phrases and sentences correctly. So, in this first chapter, we learn how to stress words correctly. The English syllable. All English words with more than one syllable have stress. That is, in multisyllabic words, one syllable must be emphasized more than any other syllables in the word. Stress is intrinsically related to the meaning of English words. So, for instance, the name Nancy has stress on the first syllable, Nancy. Stressed syllables are in uppercase. If we say it in any other way, we are not saying the word correctly and might not be understood. Since multisyllabic English words have stress on some syllables, to stress words correctly, we first need to know how many syllables a word has. A non-native speaker is not understood if she speaks a word with the wrong number of syllables as well as if she stresses on the wrong syllable. To know how many syllables a word has, we need to know how to count the number of syllables of English words. For some languages, syllable counting is as easy as counting 1, 2, 3. In Korean and Chinese, for example, words are written in the unit of syllables. So to know how many syllables a word has, we can simply count the syllables in its written form. English words are not written in units of syllables, as a word is a string of letters strewn from left to right. By merely inspecting the string of letters in a word, we cannot tell how many syllables there are in a word. Vowel letters in words are often silent, without making any vowel sound. So, for instance, come has 2 vowel letters, but only O has a vowel sound. 2 adjacent vowel letters, even when the same letter, can together make 1 vowel sound, thus 1 syllable, or 2 independent vowel sounds, thus 2 syllables. For example, with reach and react. Reach is a 1-syllable word, but react is a 2-syllable word. 1 consonant between 2 vowels also presents problems, since it is sometimes attached to the preceding vowel, forming the end of a syllable, and sometimes to the subsequent vowel, forming the beginning of a syllable. Trying to infer the number of syllables based on existing knowledge can also lead to an error. Consider these words, tome and epitome. Tome is a 1-syllable word, as it is pronounced tome. So, we might think that epitome must be a 3-syllable word, epitome. However, epitome is pronounced as epitome, so it is actually a 4-syllable word. While tome and epitome come from the same root, epitome retains its Greek root pronunciation. So tome is a 1-syllable word, but epitome is a 4-syllable word. These examples indicate that counting the number of syllables of English words can be difficult for a non-native speaker. Then, how do native speakers count the syllables of words correctly? Actually, they can only if the natives know how to say the word correctly. If they do not know the pronunciation of the word, or have never heard the word spoken before, they may not be able to analyze the word into syllables correctly. Consider the word infrared, which means light waves beyond the red light waves. So, infrared is made of two different words, infra and red, rendering the word as three syllables, infrared. But some English natives mispronounce the word as a two-syllable word, infrared, making the second R as a part of an R-colored vowel. A person who pronounces infrared as infrared hints that she does not know the meaning of the word. This example underscores the importance of listening to the speech of learned natives. Unlike the case with Korean or Chinese, to count the number of syllables of English words correctly, we may not rely on their written form. We must instead rely on the correct pronunciation of the word. This advice might not be so helpful to many non-native English speakers. The reason is that languages differ in the notions of the well-formed syllable. Compare the differences, for instance, between Korean and English. Words such as cake, boy, and sour are monosyllabic words in English. But Koreans may think that cake and boy are two-syllable words, and sour is a three-syllable word, since they have to be written with these many syllables. The linguistic difference here is that in English, certain vowels contain two sounds but make one syllable. Such vowels are called diphthongs. But in Korean, any sound in which two vowels are heard must make two syllables. The consonant cluster, which is a string of consonants without a vowel sound, is another difference between Korean and English. In English, consonant clusters do not make a syllable, but in Korean, where consonant clusters are almost non-existent, each consonant can end up being viewed as its own syllable. So, such monosyllabic English words as trucks and strange can be viewed as 4, tarakasa, and 5, satareinji, syllable words, respectively, in Korean. So when we count the syllables of English words, we should not transpose our own conceptions of the syllables formed from our own native languages, as this will likely lead to a miscalculation and thus wrong pronunciation of words. Instead, we should learn the methods native English teachers use to teach their students. Keeping this in mind, we learn the syllable division rules of English.